Hello, apologies, we are here. Apologies, my mic was on the blink, so I didn't unfortunately get all of that. I can run you through the standings though. So it's Jonathan Closer with Vasta Racer doing fantastic things for Germany, much needed. Nolan Power in third, Onyx in fourth, Rafa in fifth, Zach in sixth, Campbell in seventh, good result from him, Thomas in 8th, the Lithuanian struggling here, Forbes in 9th, Ashbest in 10th, Ollie in 11th, Skyzy in 12th, Fruitful Sparks, Just Sass, Cohen, Flaky. Flaky probably describes the actual result of the Lithuanians, to be fair. Not the best start for those guys. VRT Forbes in 9th. What can he do? Let's have a little look at the detail. Pretty predictable. Flaky, the only guy starting on softs. Everyone else starting on mediums. I think it's pretty much a comfortable two-stop here. I think it's normally the best way to play it. I don't know whether it's soft, medium, soft, or if it's soft, medium, medium. I don't really know. Be interesting to see how early some of these guys come in. I predict some very early stops to prevent any kind of undercut from those behind. So everyone's in with a chance of still going through. It does require some decent results though, I will say that. As we've got Nolan Power up there doing pretty damn well, so be interesting to see whether he can really push on for his nation. But yeah, again, a long way to go in this one. Sadly, I won't be with you for all of it. I will take you through hopefully the first half of it. Yeah, I will see you soon, Gary. And thank you for the kind words, Mr. Doom, one of the Spanish drivers who unfortunately didn't quite make it out of the group. Nonetheless, any idea who Nolan Power is driving for? Because I've absolutely no idea. Is he French? If anyone can help me out with that, because he's got a Spanish flag, so I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, lights will be out very, very soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the inevitable lag, and we are off straight away. As we have Closer with a fantastic start. Nolan Power goes around the outside. We've got Rafa looking. Also Onyx kind of stalls a little bit. His progress is not really where it wants to be. Everyone is through clean. We have an issue, a big issue. Ollie's out, and he's taken a few people with him. He's taken Ash Best and Onyx, so that is huge. That's not good. And Rafa as well is round. Oh, and Campbell is round. This is absolute chaos on the first lap, and it affects pretty much everyone. It affects the Scottish, it affects the Dutch, it affects the Lithuanian. Lithuanians probably more, but it also affects the Germans. 10-second time penalty for Justice Ass for that encroachment, probably due to spinning and probably just trying to get out of the way of everything. Really unfortunate for him. We've got a lot of movement back further through the field. Everyone kind of jostling a little bit to try and get some decent track position, but that's really going to affect what is, well, the bottom 6 guys are really in a bad place. I think Flaky's fine to be through. Don't know what Rafa's wing's looking like. Let's have a little look at that. No, that's in bits. He's going to have to stop there, I feel. Chaos all over the place. What a start. France is Nolan. So Nolan is doing well for the French, as is Zach. Thank you very much, June. Really appreciate it, my man. Ollie out. What are they going to do? These guys are just kind of weaving around. Obviously no safety cars here. Well, you might have thought that would have probably triggered one. Rafa somehow makes his way past Flaky. Incredible. Is he going to carry on with that? He isn't. No, he pits, as does ILRT Thomas, who may well have got caught up in that incident. I think everyone behind. Oh, was Onyx just doing some pretty disgusting things, to be honest. Doesn't surprise me. And yeah, don't know. Glad we caught that one on stream. Not the best in the slightest. All sorts of skullduggery going on. The top 4 really, as they were. Well, I tell you what, I think Eltnik may have just got the best start you could ever wish for. He's up 11 places. What a move. Fruitful up 7. The biggest loser is Onyx. And yeah, he's down 11 places, and he's going to have a tough ask. Member points are always paid up to 15 places here, so that's always worth bearing in mind, as we've got Nolan looking on the back of Jonathan Closer. And he's going to feel a bit of weight now, because obviously he knows that he's probably in a party with Rafa, he's probably in a party with Ollie, so these guys need to do something. It's really on these two Mercedes to bring home some serious points to stave off the threat of the Lithuanian guys, really, who themselves are not doing any kind of massive performances right now, as we've got Forbes, who's kind of thrown his hat into the ring for the Scottish, but it won't be enough with the French doing so well. But Nolan is on the back, and who knows, maybe we're not out of these incidents, as Ash Best. The timing screens are all kind of all over the place at the moment, so do apologise for if I'm missing anything in the back of the field. But yeah, it seems sensible to stick with Fruitful, as he's following Forbes here, and the Dutch guys need probably less so than others, but they do need some points, and it's not been a great start for them, other than Eltink, who has done pretty well, but they've got consistent midfield points, as we do have DRS activated, and you've got to think Fruitful is going to have a decent pop at this, as well as Nolan. This terrible broadcast cam. And Fruitful does get alongside Forbes and makes that move pretty easy, and he is on those mediums, let's not forget, so very interesting. Fruitful's doing fantastic things, as Jonathan Closer is overtaken by Nolan, but this is just going to be a big long DRS train, you feel, as Forbes does get back by as well. A lot to think about. The French are in a very good place. The Germans, well, it's hit or miss for those guys at the moment, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that kind of unfolds. Pens could play a factor here. Forbes and Fruitful are kind of stuck in their own little nightmare in some ways, as Eltnik does lose it from the back, unfortunately. So he's out of DRS. As Fruitful and Forbes pits. Forbes doesn't want out of it. He just wants completely out of it. He wants to get the undercut to get back into the next group and get back into that next train. It's quite sensible. He's going to not really come out with much competition, you feel, because obviously with everyone already stopping and being quite far back, you would favour Forbes to get out fairly decent, as Justice Ass gets a time pen, which won't help him. Campbell's only just coming around now, so all of these guys that had an issue, Forbes comes out in a glorious amount of clean air, and that's probably, I think, a sensible approach to this. Jonathan Closer now looking on the back of Nolan Power. Won't get it done here, as Onyx picks up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Can he make a move here on Nolan Power? Doesn't seem like he's doing anything. I think he's happy to sit behind. He knows Vasta Racer doesn't have anything in regards to DRS at the moment, so, and he won't mind dragging him along anyway, to be fair, obviously being on the same team. We've got Zach on the back of Vasta Racer. Again, this Germany-France battle is actually crucial, potentially, to the success of both of these two teams. Will that play into the hands, though, of the guys behind, where you think, the Dutch team with Fruitful and Eltnik and Cohen and Onyx could well benefit from having these kind of issues unfold in front of them, where they could take advantage if there is anything that's particularly slack. Vasta Racer comes in again with another undercut. Be interesting to see the gap between him and Forbes. How will that play out? Fruitful stays out, so he's going to have his work cut out to stay ahead of Forbes, who himself has made a move around the outside there perfectly, and he's not letting Flaky keep him from participating in this top-end fight. Flaky himself is in a bit of a dream world, I suppose. He just needs to keep going round and trying to pick up as many points as he can for his team. It's all quieting down a little bit now. Again, Closer not doing tons. Nolan is definitely trying to use more ERS and the like at the moment. So Forbes doesn't gain tons on Vasta Racer. Vasta Racer obviously showed incredible pace. So he's still 2.5, or just over 2.5 seconds behind him. Jonathan Closer again. Just content, you feel. He knows he's got the pace on Zach. He's almost happy for them to kind of stretch their legs away from the field, and he'll deal with Nolan, you feel, a bit later down the line. Eltnik just looking onto the back of Fruitful a little bit. He's trying to stay within that DRS. They should be working together, you feel, to just try and keep out of reach of Skyzy. That would be the most sensible point, as both Nolan and Jonathan do actually pit. And Zach, Fruitful stays out again. Of course he's on the mediums, I do forget that. So he's in a very good place, actually. He's in a very, very good shape, as is Skyzy. Vasta Racer 3 second time penalty. That's not going to help anything. Jonathan does actually potentially gain a little bit of time there out in the pits. And what Forbes will, this is going to be incredibly close. He does not come out ahead, and he is out of, he's going to just potentially sneak into DRS. He needs a hell of a line here. The lead battle is not really a lead battle at the moment. It's more Nolan and Vasta Racer. He looks like he's made a small mistake. It's Flaky and Campbell going at it, and Flaky gets the move done. That's not going to help Campbell in the slightest. Who gets the DRS? It is actually Flaky, I believe. Yeah, that's not going to help. You're going to have to stay on board with this. This is crucial for the Scottish success, and nothing Campbell can do about it, really. He needs to get past him as soon as he can. Fruitful looking very racy. You do wonder if team orders are going to come into play here. You hear that line, it's a bit of a cheesy line said in league racing a lot, but it means a hell of a lot more here, because it is a team battle. It's a team sprint effectively. So you do have to wonder if they will work together, as Campbell does get back past Flaky. You can obviously see that move. So we've now got Onyx and Ash Best fighting tooth and nail here. You would assume Onyx gets the move. No, he doesn't get the move done. Ooh, he runs him out of absolute road. One day he'll make a clean overtake, you assume. T1000 Zach looking on the back of Forbes. Again, this is a race for position as well. These guys have stopped. You would assume that Flaky is going to go quite near the back of the field after this is all said and done. Medium runners are going to have that advantage obviously later on in the race. Kind of gutted I don't get to see it, to be honest with you, because I'm really looking forward to watching this. It's really, really, really tight, and you have to assume that these two German lads are going to be working tooth and nail together, and Rafa's going to be on a rescue. Fruitful does look very racy. It will be intriguing to see if he can continue on with this and just potentially extend that gap to Skyzy, who is closing. So I'm just trying to source a commentator for you guys for the bulk of this race, as it will be me heading off to race around the mean streets of Singapore fairly soon. Nolan's in a very, very uncomfortable position. He's not got that DRS of Cohen. He's not going to close it. Well, he might actually. He's got a very slim chance. He's going to have to absolutely go for it. And he is. He knows, he appreciates it, because he's using overtake down that straight where perhaps he wouldn't normally, and he's really trying to hammer it tooth and nail. I don't think... I tell you what, this could be close. Is he going to get it? No, he's not got it, I don't feel. Terrible news for him, as you've got to feel that Jonathan Closer is going to have a look here. Too far at the moment. Nolan will get DRS, I assume, here. No, he doesn't. Grant doesn't know where to go. He's confused. I think he's in a world of pain. But I tell you what, this is interesting, because now Nolan goes through, and all of a sudden he could stretch out a second gap here. This is crucial for the race, absolutely crucial, because if Cohen doesn't pit here, you've got to feel they're so much faster, and Closer looking, trying to develop something. Forbes is out, and that is absolutely disastrous for the Scottish lads. That could well be game over for their hopes. Jonathan Closer now, he is in a world of pain. He needs to remain calm, he needs to remain chilled, because Germany need all the points they can get at the moment, and that's their main problem, as he does go down the inside. Fantastic move. Cohen doesn't really fight it too much, and he himself is going to have some issues with Master Racer bearing down on him. Zach hasn't made the most of this, you feel, and hasn't closed up that gap anymore. But with that said, and Cohen is just going to stay, is he? I don't know. It could be very close for getting DRS. No, he's not. So this will be an absolute slam dunk overtake, you feel, and Master Racer is going to absolutely get this done. It's not even going to be close. He'll be a couple of car lengths by the time they get into the apex of the corner, and that is nice and easy. Goodbye. Skyzy now has closed up to Fruitful. He's been looking more and more racy. Is he going to send it here? Fruitful takes the defensive line. We have another yellow, and it's Onyx who's round. Skyzy really looking racy and doing very well for his team. Fruitful and Outnick doing what they can to do well for the Dutch team here. They don't need tons, but they certainly could do with any points. And obviously Onyx, even though he is pretty alienated right now, as Ash Best and Assas, they're going to be working together in the same team, get further and further away. you have to wonder what kind of mean streets fighting you're missing down at the back of that, looking at some of the wheel-to-wheel between those guys earlier. But let's concentrate on the big points and the guys doing fantastic for their teams, which at the moment you would have to argue is probably Nolan Power, who has been absolutely gifted some space there from Cohen. But yeah, it's dinner time in my house if anyone's wondering. Skyzy is going to, as we have yellows again. Don't know what Onyx is doing. Skyzy's going to go for an overtake. Campbell with a pen. Skyzy gets it done nice and easy. The guys behind are nearly caught up to this pack. Nolan's probably hoping and praying that the midfield markers do him a favour and pit this lap. I don't know if they will, as Fruitful takes a little look on the inside and darts to the outside. There's a bit of contact. And Onyx is out. He's decided to not get that point for his team and instead pack his bag and go home, which isn't ideal for the hopes of the Dutch guys, but I'm sure potentially they could still be fine. But if they miss out by a point, that could be interesting. Skyzy looking particularly racy, but just having a bit of a messy few corners there and not really able to do much. Nolan is going to be hoping and praying these guys pit. Skyzy does, so that gives him a little bit of a space, but it's not going to be enough, you feel. Potentially, the only good thing for him at the moment is Fruitful has actually dropped out of DRS range, so it could make any kind of pass fairly easy for him going into this, out of this hairpin and going down the DRS straight. So yeah, it's all worked out for him, as Cohen really struggling. You would feel that he would be wise to pit, but I'm guessing he's going one more lap as Fruitful. Nolan's right on the back of him, and this should be a pretty easy slam dunk, you feel. Fruitful not doing quite enough to get within DRS range, even though I dare say he was pushing for it because he knew the situation. He takes the middle of the track, Nolan right down the inside. And you've got to feel this will be a bit of a slam dunk. Nolan kind of moving alongside, which is perfectly within his right. Oh, we've got to reschedule. Oh, you're with me. Group CD has been rescheduled until this race is finished, so thankfully you've got me. Commiserations, congratulations, whichever way you want to look at it. I'm not entirely sure. Onyx has left the session. As Nolan now looking right up the back. Oh, late dive into the pits there. Nolan wouldn't have appreciated that. That won't have helped him, and he's got a 5-second pen between the pit lane. That looked a little bit messy. Zach now looking to go through another of the midfielders. Cohen, he's obviously doing a medium soft run here. That's the only reason why I can imagine he's staying out. So there's more to come from him. Definitely considering that a lot of the guys at the back are very much kind of alienated, really, thanks to the shenanigans going on at the beginning of the races. Jonathan Closer looking very, very racy. Fruitful takes the middle of the track, and that's pretty easy, let's be honest. That's too easy down here. I'm sure Zach's going to show us on Cohen, and he does. All the overtakes tend to happen down here, and it tends to make for quite a tactical, almost an undercut battle and a strategy battle more than an actual racing battle. Going wheel to wheel through some of these corners isn't always the best idea, as the man in 15th will testify to, because it's probably cost him his race. Cohen looking incredibly racy, considering he's on pretty much dead tyres. I know I would be in a lot worse of a state, as Eltink has got another pen. I think that might be 2 for him. Campbell looking onto the back of Skyzy. These guys are obviously both QBR members, so dare say that's going to all be swept to one side though at the moment, because these guys are racing for different teams. It's Fruitful, probably the leading hope, the leading light in this medium soft crew, you would call them. He's going to be looking to try and get... He's got medium hards. What am I talking about? Didn't even think. So interesting. He's going... A lot of the guys have gone for hards, to be fair, and that's gone completely under the radar. I've always thought a two-stop round here was a lot more OP, but especially with the guys at the back not really being able to impact your race as much. But here we go. Gary, it's an open party, mate. So you can... Oh, I need to send you in... Someone send Gary an invite. I don't think anyone will. Can I send you an invite? I don't think I can. No, I can't. Hopefully Campbell DNFs, he's alright in the lobby. Ash Best looking on the back, and we've got Fruitful now, who has stopped, and he is going to be absolutely looking to get past Guys as soon as he can. He's probably got a pace advantage, you would feel, based on the beginning session. Cohen going as long as he can on those bad boys, and he's probably going to come out ahead of Rafa, you would feel, as long as he pits fairly soon. Fruitful looking all over the back here of Skyzy, and this is looking dangerous for him. There's dangerous moments really for these guys. They need to pick up as many points as they can, particularly with one of their teammates in the wall. What can they do? Skyzy goes very wide, doesn't really lose too much time because of the slingshot effect out of the corner. Fruitful looking particularly good as Just a Sass gets another... I think that's another pen for him. It might just be his first, I'm not entirely sure. As Cohen does finally pit. Tyres, yes, that's a fair shout. So the guys on the hards will go to the end, absolutely. The guys on the mediums obviously will probably not, or almost certainly not, and they will be doing the two-stop. So you're leading one stopper at the moment. It's probably T100 Zach. We have yellows. Rafa is round. He is... I don't know if he's hit the back of Kern there, but that's disastrous news for the German guys. They just need Rafa to get as many points as he feasibly can. No point going hell for leather in this. Just pick up your points, bring them home for the team, because the guys that you're racing with are doing particularly well. So I'm not entirely sure. He needs to be going for as many battles again without seeing the footage, of course, but... Ooh, Skyzy not giving entirely enough room, particularly from Fruitful's point of view, but Fruitful does get it done. As Campbell now is on the back of these guys, but obviously he's on this medium, so he's in a different race to them in some senses. And what a blessing for Cohen, because he's now got a lot of clean air. Just go about his business knowing that Campbell and Thomas are in completely different races to him. Faster Racer does pit. Guessing he's going to go on those mediums to the end now. He's looking for that nice and chunky undercut. As we have Campbell looking on the back of Skyzy, who is also himself looking on the back. Fruitful Skyzy has a bit of a moment there, where I can see he has a 3-second time penalty for the pleasure of nearly putting it in the wall. A little bit unfair. Nolan Power gets a 3-second time penalty, and that could actually be crucial come the end of the race. After pits, what's he going to do? You would hope he stays out for the team. Faster Racer on the back. Skyzy looking fairly... I don't know if he's got enough for Fruitful, because Fruitful seems to have a bit of a pace advantage. Faster Racer, this should now be easy. Thomas is not giving it up, you feel. Doing a little bit of a dance move down the back straight, which I don't think is particularly pleasant. And Faster Racer gets that place done particularly easily. few fans in for Flaky. Good evening, gentlemen. Hopefully your boy can pick up a few more points, or at least that give us a little bit of an on-track battle that he probably deserves. As we've got Nolan and Jonathan closer into the pits. Right, so let's follow on board with Basta Racer, because this is kind of where it's key. He's going to absolutely jump them, isn't he? You would assume. Basta Racer gets a 3-second time because he is pushing like no tomorrow, and he's lost that big time. He must have had a moment somewhere, because I can't work out for why that's actually happened. Right, so we're all kind of level pegging now. We're all in the right situation in the top 12. Everyone is going to the end here, so this is all for position. There's Jonathan closer now on Elknick, who I don't think is going to fight it purely because of the tyre difference, and he's got his own business to attend to, which is picking up as many points as he feasibly can. Checking it is delayed. Okay, cool. It's fine. I'll crack on with my business then. Basta Racer now does look particularly pacey. He should. I mean, the problem with him, he's got 3 hard runners now which are in front of him, which isn't going to help matters. You almost feel like he's nailed on for third. He just needs to keep. Well, he's in his own race. He's definitely in his own race. And needs to keep it on terra firma, and he would bring home very good points for the German contingent. Time gets overtaken by Campbell at a very weird place. Can't help but feel that's a little bit of a QVR moves potentially. And thank goodness Basta Racer is on the back of Skyzy, because otherwise this is probably the last battle that we're going to see for a couple of laps, as everyone seems to have made their own sweet way away from each other. Social distancing at its finest, at least a second apart except these two lads. Not particularly hard there for him, as he gets nice and easily round. So Rafa gets a 3-second time pen. He's on a mission. He'll want to be catching Ash Best. Maybe even ILRT Thomas, maybe even Cohen. You don't know. I think after that it probably becomes slightly difficult for him though. Well, Basta Racer's made up a lot of time on Fruitful. Fruitful is clearly struggling on these tyres, you feel. But it's just going to be very, very difficult for him to reattach himself. Zach has been overtaken here by Nolan, and you can't help but give me some team orders here. I feel he's going to want to just keep Jonathan closer, as far away from his teammate as he feasibly can, just to ensure that win. Basta Racer now getting frustrated, and Skyzy's not out of this either, because if Skyzy can keep onto the back of this, he might even be able to do a double overtake on Fruitful. Oh, Thomas nicely round the outside. I just caught the end of that, and that's a great move that keeps him flowing and keeps him moving. Right on board with Skyzy. It's going to be a nice and particularly easy move for Basta Racer, but what about Skyzy? Where's he? He's not far enough back, but will this mean he gets to just rosy on up to the back of these guys and potentially get a beautiful run out of this corner and tack onto the back? Basta Racer has now become the hunted thanks to that move. It's always difficult making a move down that first DRS zone, but he comfortably keeps the place actually in the end, and he should sail off into the distance now on those fresher tyres. Jonathan closer now on the back of T1000 Zach. Now this is just pure team orders. You can't help but feel that Zach is just going to go as slow as he can, as flaky. Well, the team won't be going to, the crowd won't be going too wild in the chat, because that's unfortunate for their man, as he picks up a 5-second time penalty. Jonathan Closer now, he's pushing the envelope, there's no need to push here. The problem is with overtaking here is he's just going to give him, as Vasteras who has left the session. That is disaster for the German contingent, and wow, that could be crucial. I don't understand why you overtake Zach there. I mean, you've got to be really confident that you're not going to get done under the DRS. I think that's actually a bit of an error, because now what you've done is given yourself a battle where you didn't need one. We've got yellow somewhere. Oh, trainer people. No, it's worked out well. Fair play to him. Oh God, poor Vasteras. He's going to be absolutely crying here. He needs to get back in this lobby as soon as he can. The German hopes are evaporating. This is disastrous for him. Absolutely disastrous. Is Flaky even with everybody? Not entirely sure. Three-second time penalty for Eltnick again. Skyzy definitely pushing on the back of Fruitful here. Vasteras loses even more time. This is so unfortunate for him. Flaky, I think, is literally ghosted because he is obviously a lap down. That explains a lot. Well, Mr. Closer, this is going to be a big moment for you, and indeed Rafa, to develop as many points as they feasibly can for the nation. Hopefully he can get back in the lobby. I assume that Rafa would be sending him an invite, particularly as he's in clean air. Obviously a bit difficult for Closer to do so, as I'll be back in a second. Apologies for that. Alright, Skyzy still on the back of Fruitful. Haven't missed tons of stuff. But yeah, looking particularly interesting, this battle, and that's probably the main battle on track that we're going to have for the foreseeable. So again, if there's any mathematicians out there, you've got to think the French are doing... Are the French doing enough? That's the question. Skyzy is probably actually in the most important place in some senses, because Zach, you feel, might well get this done from Eltnick, because there does seem to be, although he is closing. So this is really interesting, because now what you've got, I do feel for the French contingent, because they've only got 3 drivers, but they're all in the top 6, so an absolute incredible effort from them. You contrast that to the unfortunate situation with the Scottish team, where their top lad is going to be, well, probably 7th unless Vasteras gets a wiggle on and gets back in this lobby. Is he back? I think he's actually back. Huge. Eiley Thomas. ILRT Thomas. I don't know why that came out like that. He's having a quiet race. He's going to be looking to do something as well. So it's a great performance from the French, and they can kind of hang their head held high regardless of what happens. They've kept their heads. You've got to feel, I mean, let's just, for the sake of it, just have a little look, shall we? Let's have a look at the standings, because I think this is kind of going to be crucial and it kind of adds to the drama of everything. While we've got a bit of a lull as we're watching Skyzy just kind of run around at the back. Rafa is also, ooh, big pen. It's not going to help matters. Right. Germany on 25, France on 19. If I've got everything right, 25-22, 45-22. $59-22. This is an absolute disaster. These guys are going to comfortably pick up a lot of points and score incredibly well, and I think this is the Germans out realistically. The Netherlands doing probably just enough, and the Lithuanians, I'll tell you what, they could end up not having a massive points total and scraping over the line. I don't know exactly how it is between the Netherlands and Lithuania, but they need to get a wiggle on, because if not, as Campbell gets obviously past Vastovic, now there is still a ghost. That's that. I think that's that for the Germans. Campbell gets a 3-second time penalty. Pushing to get past the ghost. Love to see it. There's Rafa now right on the back of Cohen. This was a great camera angle. He's not going to do this half-heartedly. What was Cohen fights it? Rafa gets it done more than easily enough. He's going to have DRS, but I don't think he's got anywhere near the speed to get anywhere near him going into that last corner. I'll be completely honest with you, I don't really know. I mean, the points being scored here by Lithuania is going to be minimal. Really, really minimal. They're going to run out scoring 2, 5, 9, 17 at the moment as it stands. So that's pretty disastrous for them, but they will be incredibly thankful. I mean, to be fair, if they're scoring 17 points, they might not go through. As it stands, the French will jump them. The Dutch will almost certainly jump them. And it really depends. Well, yeah, T1000 Zach gets another pen. That's again not going to help those guys' causes. Skies are now looking at the back of Fruitful. I think this could mean that Lithuania jump into third place, but there could be some pens flying around after the race. Obviously it's not all said and done. What I'm talking is obviously provisional, and it can easily change according to what the stewards feel is acceptable at the back, as Sass pits. Maybe just to make sure he gets to the end, he's under no real issues as Fruitful. Looking very, very untidy here. The one to watch is Eltink, I should say, apologies. He was catching right onto the back. Eventually you feel of Zach, but will there be enough time? That's going to be the main issue. Skyzy doing very well to stay with him. It just really depends on how it all plays out. You've got to feel that the Germans are, they're pretty much out of it. You feel, Vastovic isn't there. I mean, that's best 3-second time penalty. It's all up in the air at the moment, to be honest. As it stands, I can't see Skyzy losing any places to Campbell, who is catching. Will that come into play? It depends how hard these guys battle. I really doubt it, but Skyzy gets the move done. But it's just going to slingshot back. I do wonder why so many people are going for the move down the first DRS zone. Makes absolutely no sense to me. Ooh, squeezes him. Squeezes him off the track, really. And Fruitful gets it done. Got corner cut warning for that, though. Campbell's not making enough time. I think he's struggling on those tyres. I think his race is run. He's probably got to worry about Thomas coming from behind. Thomas could be crucial points actually here for the Lithuanian lads. In fact, Ash Best and Cohen and Skyzy and Fruitful could both be important in their own way, particularly as well Thomas catching up to the back if he can of Campbell as Fruitful still holds on. But yeah, 4 laps to go. Nolan Power, who we haven't focused on incredibly much, has done an incredible job of just gapping Jonathan closer, helped by some midfield markers perhaps not getting out of the way, as they didn't have to, of course, in any kind of efficient form. So, be interested. Wondering where the CD stream is for Group CD. It is going to be about, I don't know, 10 minutes away, I assume. But yeah, incredibly unfortunate it's delayed, but I'm more than happy to commentate the last few laps around here. Skies are getting close enough to Fruitful, but I think he has the pace advantage on these hards, which is quite interesting. Even that, Fruitful's just kind of closing up a bit, as Ash Best has done incredibly well to just completely and utterly obliterate that gap to Cohen. And that could be, you never know, that could actually be a crucial point for Lithuania. I don't think he's going to have enough to catch anyone else, especially with Rafa being in 10. Rafa's done a fantastic job actually, fair play to him for just carrying on. It's not been the kind of race he would have wanted to have run, but it gives his boys a bit of a chance to actually develop some sort of point scoring in this race. I'd assume Vasta Racer is discounted from the standings, but you just don't know. I've no idea of the rulings, but it's definitely not completed enough of the race. I don't actually think it would matter, actually, to be honest with you, in regards to the important paid places for this. He doesn't get a very good run out of there, you don't feel, and gaps open up a little bit more. See, it will close down, but not enough for him to make a move. It's quite a short straight, in all fairness, and there's not tons you can actually do with it. Nolan with another 3 seconds. It really depends on whether Jonathan Close has got a pen. And again, those points for France are absolutely crucial. They need to make sure that they keep steady, as Elting is catching on the back very, very quickly. And he's going to have 2 laps to do something. Those hards should last, that shouldn't be the problem, but it's just whether they can last and actually go fast enough. Skyzy's kind of dropping off the pace a little bit here. Not the news that France wants. This is pivotal. So the pivotal 3 minutes or so for France. Nolan gapping, he's pushing. He's really pushing, and I think they both know that this could come down to pens. I suspect there is 6 seconds in it. Don't know how that will affect everything exactly, but I know that it's actually incredibly razor tight here between the 3 teams, who all should, in theory, probably go through with the lack of points scored in CD, but you don't really want to be the team in third finding out. Skyzy's really making some good pace here on the back of Fruitful. He's got a little bit more in the tank as well when it comes to Urs and the like. Elting's made a mistake. He's made a big mistake, and that has just enabled that to drive off into the sunset, you feel. Nolan's going to have a hell of a lap here. I suspect the gap is 6 seconds, I don't entirely know, but they are both pushing for it incredibly well, as Nolan does start the last lap here at Abu Dhabi Skyzy, he's setting up for it. He's definitely setting up for a last lap move, and it could well be the most important move of this race. 2 points, of course, that will give France, and it will take 2 away from the Dutch lads. Koen is very far down. So every point counts for these guys. Eltink is not going to catch that, no chance, absolutely none. Seems to be struggling more and more. I don't know if he actually got some damage or something, because he's just dropping like a stone as pacer goes. Skyzy, I don't understand why Skyzy's got this in 0, to be honest. He needs to push, he needs to get a good launch, he needs to really put the pressure on, and it needs to come quick. Fruitful draining it, absolutely draining it, as Just Assas gets a 3-second time pen. That could be crucial for his battle with Koen. Skyzy, last chance saloon, what can you do? Eltink is dropping like an absolute stone. What's going on here? This is up. Is he trying to... Oh, he's got to make the move, he's got to make the move. Well, this is bizarre stuff. Oh, great move from Skyzy, unbelievable. Right down the inside, he's got it done. A little bit of contact, but that caught him completely off guard, and he's done so well. We're going to see a dive here, we've got to see a dive. No, we don't. Skyzy gets past. Eltink's in the absolute mud. We've missed the first place. I'm so sorry, Nolan. Well done. Jonathan Closer, then T1000 sack. Eltink will come round in 4th place. Oh, and it's all gone crazy. What the heck has happened here? There's pens everywhere. Thomas has come 4th, Fruitful in 5th, Skyzy in 6th, Campbell in 7th, Eltink in 8th. What has happened there? He's picked up so many pens. Thomas, what an incredible drive. Probably the driver of the day in some sense, has kept his head. Fruitful in 5th, Skyzy in 6th. He did have a pen in the end, so it didn't matter. Campbell in 7th, Raffle across the line in a bitterly disappointing 9th place, but at least he got it done as Flaky comes round in 14th. Ash Best in 11th. Koen, ooh, he's been overtaken around the last corner. I've tried to flick it back and I was too late. That's an incredible move. It won't matter. I wondered why he gave it up so easily. 12th place for Koen. A French, German and a Frenchman. Massive points for France. And I think they could have just secured their place alongside, question mark, to be honest, probably Lithuania. I think that's given them enough points to have done well. And it might well be that it's the Dutchman in the hot seat with the Germans in 4th place, but there could be some pens coming flying around. Keep an eye on this one. Thanks ever so much. Thanks to the chat for watching, and yeah, tune in for CD, which is coming up next.